ages. I'm really hoping that my neighbours are going to stop doing DIY for long enough for me to film this video. And if they do, I'm going to film 2 in a row just in case, because that is the main reason that I've not been able to film for the last few days. Because they keep being so noisy, and every time I go to film, I'm all set up, I'm all ready, and a drill starts or something. So if it happens, I'm sorry, but I'm going to power through and film this video. Today I have for you my favourite blushes. There's one that's missing, which I will talk about as I go through, and I just don't know where it's gone. It's the most bizarre thing. There are so many things in my house that have just disappeared, and I'm, 99.9% sure that I haven't blog sailed them, but I'm going to have to go through my old posts because you never know. But stuff that's just, yes, that's the drill next door. Anyway, stuff that's just disappeared. I've got like a load of NYX pencils and stuff that's just gone, and I've got no idea where they are. Things have just disappeared and it's driving me insane. But these are the things that I could find to talk about, and the blushes that I'm really, really enjoying at the moment. I will talk about the kind of higher end ones first of all. There are only 2. The first one is Dallas by Benefit, and I've talked about this before. I really, really love this blush. It's like a blush bronzer kind of colour, a very kind of deep colour. Oh my god, that's going to drive me insane. I'm not really going to swatch them because you're not going to be able to see. The camera doesn't autofocus, but I have swatched them all, and I've put a blog post about all of these blushes on my new site, so I will link that below for you to go and check out. But Dallas, absolutely love that. I think it's a really nice, almost contour colour. It kind of replaces a bronzer, so you can have a bronzer and a blusher. And I have been using it recently, even though normally I use it in the autumn winter. The other higher end blush is this MAC one, which I never stopped talking about last year. It was probably in 6 favourite videos in a row, and it's Peaches. Completely loved this colour, and again, haven't used it for quite a long time, and I've started using it again recently and still really, really enjoy it. It's just a really gorgeous, I think it's matte, but I could be wrong, sheer tone, so I'm guessing that's not matte, I don't know. It's just a gorgeous peachy colour. Peach is exactly what it is. It's not too pink, it's not corally, it's not anything, it's just peach, and I think that would be really, really flattering on most skin tones. Just really, really like that one. Now for my drugstore blushes. I'll talk about Milo's first of all, because I know that some of you say it's not drugstore because you can't buy it in a drugstore, but it is. You can actually buy it in pharmacies, and you can look on their website, which is milos.co.uk, and you can see the stockists, and they are all pharmacies. But a pharmacy is nothing but a drugstore. So, Milo's, I've had this for like 2 years, and I've only just hit pan, and I use it all the time. This is a blonde, I can never say bronzer blusher blend. Blonzer. And it kind of does the highlighter as well, because it's got that, you can see where it used to be kind of a dark shade swirled with a light shade. I used the light shade a lot because I used to use this just as my highlight, and then I started just using it as kind of my blush bronzer shade. But I've used this so much, and it's an absolutely amazing colour for summer. I use this more as a highlight in the winter, but for summer I just kind of go for kind of a glowy look with it, and you can even use it as kind of an all-over face powder if you used it with a duo fibre brush and was really, really light with it. But love that, never stopped talking about that, and you, if you've been watching me for a while, will know that that was going to feature. This is Gosh Natural Blush in Rose Whisper. I actually had this for a long time before I started using it, but it's one of those great ones for me that is really, really light. So if you're heavy-handed like me, then you can build this up, and you know you're not going to go too heavy. No matter how much of this I put on, I'm not going to look like a Russian doll. It's just a really, really light, natural blush, and I think everyone should have one. Another version of that kind of thing, these are very, very similar. Rose Whisper from Gosh, and I think this is called Blushing. No, it's not called Blushing at all, it's called Butterscotch, which is from the Fashionista range at Superdrug. And again, although they're not the same shade, they are very, very, very light in pigment. And this one's a little bit pinkier than this one. This is kind of more of a neutral blush, whereas this is a little bit pinkier, almost plummy, but it's so light you won't even be able to see it on my finger. You've got to really, really build it up. And they are my favourite ones for kind of if I'm in a rush and I just need to do my face, and I haven't got time to be blending out and correcting mistakes. They are my absolute favourite blushes to go to, because I am really heavy-handed with things, and I end up with big streaks that I need to blend out and blend out and blend out. Sometimes you just don't have the time. And this is my last one. One that is really, really terrible for that, but I love the shade still, is Cinnamon from the Fashionista range. This is shade 12. The other one was shade 10. This is really, really pigmented. This and Dallas are probably my most pigmented blushes, and they are the ones that I've got to be super light with. I'd quite like to get like a duo fibre or some kind of light blush brush, because the one I have right now is really, really dense and it packs on the product, whereas these are like super, super, super pigmented. If I put that straight on my cheek, it's like eyeshadow kind of pigmentation, and that's a gorgeous plummy colour, and I would liken it to Della's. It's not quite, it is more of a blush, you couldn't really use it as a bronzer, whereas this is a bit more neutral, this is a bit more plummy. But if you haven't got the budget for the Della's, this is a really good version for you. And I just really, really like it. The Fashionista blushes actually have really, really impressed me. The only problem is that a lot of them are really quite pigmented. There's another one, I forget the name of it, but it's like a dupe for, what is it called? Desert Rose by MAC, which I also really like, but again, so heavy that I don't get to use it very often because I just don't want to look like a Russian doll. But they are my favourite blushes. Most of them are quite neutral. I don't go really, really pink or, you know, really, really bronzy or anything, but most of them are quite neutral just because I can't trust myself. I'm going to end up having big pink cheeks if I went really, really dark, like the Dolly Mix, I think it was called, by MAC, that everyone raves about. I couldn't wear that in a million years. I couldn't wear that. I would look crazy. But I hope you enjoyed that. That was just kind of a quick, I think it's 6 blushes. I wanted to have top 5. Oh, and the one that I wanted to mention that I didn't have was MAC's Plum Foolery. Love, love, love that. It's not quite as heavy as the other ones, but it's still giving me that plummy look that I really like in the autumn winter time. But I can't find it anywhere, it's just disappeared. But I suppose it would have been my top 7 blushes. Wanted to narrow it down to 5, but I couldn't. But I do have a top 5 lip products coming up in honour of the International Kissing Day, I believe it is, later on this week. So that will be going up later on this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go and subscribe and check out my other videos if you've enjoyed this. And don't forget to check out the links below. Bye!